From Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Madam Speaker, I rise for a motion.
Delegate Herring, you have the floor.
Madam Speaker, I move that we assign a second committee of conference on SB 588 on page 71.
Delegate Herring requests and we assign a new conference committee to SB 588 on page 71. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed will do so. Madam Clerk, will you please call the calendar?
Page 27 of the calendar, Conference Committee on House Bill 660.
The delegate from Newport News, Delegate Mullen.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would say that we went to war with the Senate and we won. This is the bill as it left the House, which I believe passed on a close to party line vote. So I would just remind people of that as we get back to our seats to accept this conference report.
Shall the conference report be agreed to? It's just slow. It's got to warm up. See? The clerk shall close the roll.
Ayes 55, nays 43, abstentions 0.
Ayes 55, nays 43, abstentions 0. The conference report is agreed to.
Page 31 of the calendar, Conference Report on House Bill 798.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Delaney.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Speaking to the conference report.
Delegate Delaney.
All right, so this bill has gone through some changes. So this bill started dealing with prohibiting an employer from retaliating against an employee for participating in a criminal investigation or refusing to commit illegal acts or reporting that their employer participated in illegal acts. That bill passed this House 76 to 22. It went to the Senate, and in regards to the non-retaliation, it went through a few revisions, which I was favorable of. For example, it changed the language that if an employee refuses to perform an illegal action, that it actually has to be something illegal that they're refusing, and not just something that they suspect is illegal that violates state or federal law. It also protects from disclosure of not only what we had in our House version of data protected by law, but then it also added data protected by any other legal privilege. And then it also clarifies that the employee can be awarded reasonable attorney's fees and costs. In addition, in the Senate, it then also picked up a whole provision for class action lawsuits. This bill then went to conference. We rejected that. Through the conference process, we've reached somewhat of a compromise regarding the class action lawsuits. One of the sticking points on class action lawsuits has been the use of depositions to support a motion for summary judgment, and that issue has been addressed in the conference report. So it is now not only dealing with the retaliatory action against employees, but it does also have a component for class action lawsuits with the provision for the use of depositions. So I move the conference report.
Shall the conference report be agreed?
Madam Speaker.
Yes, the delegate from Albemarle, Delegate Bell.
Would the gentlelady yield for a question?
Will the delegate yield?
I yield.
The delegate yields.
I'd ask
Delegate
the
Bell.
gentlelady, so we had the class action bill not related to this, but to just class actions generally. And then the issue about summary judgment we've had come up before, not just to this bill, not just to class actions, but generally. Could the gentlelady say whether the class actions tie only to this topic and whether the summary judgment issue, just so we don't have to have this three questions, whether summary judgment also just ties to class actions just for this topic?
Delegate Delaney.
So, Madam Speaker, I would answer the question that, to the gentleman that no, it does not just limit to retaliatory action. It actually is an entire addition of ability to for class actions to happen in Virginia, which failed to report out of the courts committee. I was one of the no votes on that. One of the concerns that that came up in that debate was the use of depositions to support a motion for summary judgment. So that was what was considered somewhat of a compromise in terms of the conference report, but I do want to be very transparent with the body that this bill left this House as a bill that dealt with prohibiting retaliatory action, something very similar to a whistleblower bill. It picked up an entirely different bill that deals with class actions, which we rejected, and now we're back with a somewhat amended version of that that includes my bill about retaliatory action, but then also an entire section that allows class actions for any reason at all, not just retaliatory action, with the one kind of negotiated point that deals with the depositions.
All right, Madam Speaker.
Delegate Bell.
I would ask if the amendment as proposed through the conference report is germane.
The House will be at ease. My ruling is that it is not germane. Delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Madam Speaker, I move for a second committee conference on HB 798 on page 31.
All those in favor of Delegate Herring's motion for a second conference on HB 798 on page 31 shall say aye. Aye. Those opposed? We'll move forward with the second conference on HB 798. Will the clerk please continue with the calendar?
Page 31, Conference Committee Report on House Bill 799.
The delegate from Virginia Beach, Delegate Askew.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. House Bill 799 is my lead testing and child day programs bill that passed the House a few weeks ago. Currently, as it stands, the conference report removes the clause as well as the delayed enactment provision. I hope it's the will of the body to pass the conference report.
Shall the conference report be agreed to? The clerk shall close the roll.
Ayes 96, nays 0, abstention 0.
Ayes 96, nays 0, abstention 0. The conference report is agreed to.
Page 42 of the calendar, House Bill 1201.
The delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Tran.
Oh, thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Good evening. The conference report, the Senate has accepted the House amendments. It passed the Senate already, and so the conference report reflects that, and I hope it's the will of the body to accept it. This bill provides the localities with an option to add requirements into their invitations to bid for public works contracts, which has already passed this body. Thank you.
Shall the conference report be agreed to? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 55, nays 42, abstention 0.
Ayes 55, nays 42, abstention 0. The conference report is agreed to.
Page 43, House Bill 1250.
The delegate from Prince William, Delegate Torian.
Madam Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, this is my community policing act bill, data collecting, and what happened, the Senate put the clause on it. We got it removed, and I ask that you would accept the conference report.
Shall the conference report be agreed to? The clerk shall close the roll.
Ayes 62, nays 35, abstention 0.
Ayes 62, nays 35, abstentions 0. The conference report is agreed to.
Page 45, Conference Committee Report on House Bill 1414.
The delegate from Norfolk, Delegate Jones.
That's right. Thank you, Madam Speaker. House Bill 1414 is a tremendous bill. It's the transportation omnibus bill with the funding mechanisms. It is complex. We have done some work on it in conference. And before I start, I'd like to thank the conferees for their hard work. And I hope everybody will bear with me on this bill. It ensures that Virginia has a sustainable statewide transportation funding model. Obviously, it restructures our funding system to create the Unified Commonwealth Transportation Fund to invest in multimodal transportation across the state. It really does help improve the rail initiative announced in December. It restructures our gas tax to a cents per gallon model and raises the statewide gas tax by 5 cents a year for 2 years, so 10 cents overall, and it indexes that to the Consumer Price Index. It ensures that Fuel-efficient vehicles will pay their fair share. These vehicles would not be penalized. Their annual fee would be based on 85% of the fuel tax paid by the average vehicle, and directs DMV to establish a voluntarily mileage-based user program for these vehicles that drive less than the average by 2022. It also extends the regional fuels tax in all parts of Virginia that do not currently have it. Those funds would stay in your regions for their district to smart scale. This adds money to rural construction districts for these projects and restructures the tax to be a per-cent gallon tax, 7.6 cents for gas and 7.7 cents for diesel, and it indexes that to the consumer price index. I see you guys over there. It reduces the vehicle registration fee by cars to $10 a year and eliminates the $5 walk-in fee at DMV. And I will tell you, for those of you guys who are concerned, this bill does not include the safety inspection repeal. We are keeping that, so that will stay annualized as well, and I hope that we would move adoption of the conference report.
Shall the conference report be agreed to? The clerk shall close the roll.
Ayes 54, nays 43, abstentions 0.
Ayes 54, nays 43, abstentions 0. The conference report is agreed to.
Page 47, conference report on House Bill 1495.
The delegate from Prince William, Delegate Torian.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House. Again, the Senate put the clause on my bill. It may have something to do with the budget report that's coming up, so they kind of held on to my legislation and decided to put the clause on it. They got a little grace and decided to remove the clause, so I ask that you accept the conference report.
Shall the conference report be agreed to? The clerk shall close the roll.
Ayes 97, nays 0, abstentions 0.
Ayes 97, nays 0, abstention 0. The conference report is agreed to.
Page 48, conference report on House Bill 1509.
The delegate from Richmond City, Delegate McQuinn.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, House Bill 1509, once again, the Senate put the enactment clause on this, and it has been removed, and so I hope it be the pleasure of the House to adopt the conference report.
Shall the conference report be agreed to? The clerk shall close the roll.
Ayes 80, nays 17, abstentions 1.
Ayes 80, nays 17, abstentions 1. The conference report is agreed to.
Page 48, conference report on House Bill 1513.
The delegate from Richmond City, Delegate McQuinn.
Thank you once again, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, House Bill 1519 was the health insurance credit for retired school division employees other than teachers, and the enactment clause was also attached to this. It has been removed, and once again, I hope it be the pleasure of the House to adopt the conference report.
Shall the conference
Madam
report?
Speaker, I'm
yes,
sorry.
the delegate
She
from
said House Bill 1519, but it's 1513 on the board.
1513.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Shall the conference report be agreed to? HB 1513. The clerk shall close the roll.
Ayes 76, nays 22, abstentions 0.
Ayes 76, nays 22, abstention 0. The conference report is agreed to.
Page 49, conference report on House Bill 1519.
The delegate from Richmond City, Delegate McQuinn.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, House Bill 1519 was a commission to study slavery, Jim Crow, massive resistance, and the Black Code. And it was the study. It was asked by the Senate that there be additional individuals added to the membership of to do the study from the Senate. And however, this bill is in its original form. They have decided that they would take that route, and I'm happy. And so I hope it be the will of the body to adopt the conference report.
Shall the conference report be agreed to? The clerk shall close the roll.
Ayes 98, nays 0, abstentions 0.
Ayes 98, nays 0, abstentions 0. The conference report is agreed to.
Page 54, House Joint Resolution 29.
The delegate from Sussex County, Delegate Tyler.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. House Joint Resolution 29, they simply just return the piece of legislation as it was when it left the House, and it removed the Senate amendments. So I agree, ask the body to accept the conference report.
Shall the conference report be agreed to? The clerk shall close the roll.
Ayes 98, nays 0, abstention 0.
Ayes 98, nays 0, abstention 0. The conference report is agreed to.
Page 26 of the calendar, House Bill 572.
The delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Keem.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, this is a bill that, actually it's still, there we go. This is a bill that has been popularly called the Solar Freedom Bill for a couple of years. It would essentially remove some of the obstacles in the code to allow for more small businesses, local governments, homes, families to be able to have more distributed solar in their homes and in their workplaces. The Senate bill that originally started out with, identical to mine, ended up mostly being in the bill that Delegate Sullivan and Senator McClellan had in the Virginia Clean Energy Act. This conference report adds a couple more provisions that allow for a local county to be able to have solar arrays on their landfill to be able to use that land for more productive purposes, and also allows for some shared solar so that more areas can take advantage of this in the multifamily areas. I hope it will be the pleasure of the House to adopt the conference report.
Shall the conference report be agreed to? The clerk shall close the roll.
Ayes 62, nays 35, abstentions 1.
Ayes 62, nays 35, abstentions 1. The conference report is agreed to.
Page 44, conference report on House Bill 1301.
The delegate from Montgomery, Delegate Hurst.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. House Bill 1301 would establish the Office of Children's Ombudsman. This is an office that JLARC has said is needed in the Commonwealth to protect
children in our foster care system, in our adoption placing apparatus, and also for those children impacted by CPS. This body has tried for more than 15 years to get this office established. Senator Edwards, my senator back in Blacksburg, has tried. I have introduced this bill for 3 years. Thankfully, this bill has not received a single no vote against it, as it has gone through 6 committees here this year. I appreciate the work of the delegate from Botetourt, Delegate Austin, to help get us to this point. The conference report comes back from the Senate. It still does have the clause on it, but I would say that with an assurance from the chair of Senate Finance and Appropriations this afternoon that we will be able to get this funded in both budgets. Currently, right now, it's funded in the House budget. So I would urge the body to adopt the conference report.
The delegate from Caroline, Delegate Orrock.
Madam Speaker, speaking to the report.
Delegate Orrock, you have the floor.
Completely understand what the patron of the bill is speaking to and the dilemma he's up against, but just again, everybody needs to understand, if the clause goes on the bill, it goes in the code book with an asterisk. So you don't know if it's the law until you look up that year's budget. The governor could send down an amendment later to take this off. But we as a body have never gone forward with that premise, because then we send everything out hoping the governor will strip it off when it was funded in the budget. And we've always established a policy throughout the years that I've been here, whoever had the majority, we were going to make sure it was in our budget before we sent it out for consideration. So all deference to the patron and the hard work he's put in, and everybody's voted for the underlying bill because we support the concept. I think we need to reject this conference committee, send it back to the Senate, tell them, you say it's going to be in the budget, we believe you, let's strip the clause off and send it forward.
The delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Simon.
Madam Speaker, members of the House, I understand the risk that has been pointed out here. I can't say it's never ever been done. I think that we've got a great relationship with the governor's office. They understand what we want done here. I don't think there'll be any problem. I don't think it'll be missed. I think we've got assurances from everybody this is going to happen and it's going to be taken care of this way. So I think that we're good to go here.
Shall the conference report be agreed to? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 63, nays 13, abstentions 1.
Ayes 63, nays 13, abstentions 1. The conference report is agreed to. The House will be at ease.
Good evening, Madam Speaker. I will not choke on my ID. But Senate Bill 34 is the cognate of House Bill 1211, which provides a driver privilege card to all Virginians, immigrants, regardless of their immigration status. I had earlier described the changes in the conference report for House Bill 1211, and the importance to the community and to Virginia of passing this bill, but I will gladly re-describe those changes for anybody who's interested. Otherwise, I hope that you accept the conference report.
Shall the conference report be agreed to? The clerk shall close the roll.
Ayes 57, nays 40, abstentions 0.
Ayes 57, nays 40, abstention 0. The conference report is agreed to. The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise for a motion.
Delegate Herring, you have the floor.
Madam Speaker, I move that we stand in recess until 9:40.
Delegate Herring moves that we stand in recess until what time?
9:40.
9:40. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, the House stands in recess until 9:40.